Okay, good evening. We're up to the Mishnah on Daf Lamed Aleph Amid Beis. Lamed Aleph Amid Beis. Zeba be Chavisa. This person is walking in Rishus Harabim. He has carrying his barrel. Zeba be Charasai, and this guy comes with his kaira, and Nishbara Kadosh Shalzeh be Karasha Shalzeh. The kad. If you might, this is familiar because you mentioned Hainu Kad and Chavius interchangeable, right? We said Lini Mekach Memka. Right, Shalzeh b'karash Shalzeh. The fragile cod breaks when hitting the wooden beam. Pata. Why? Shalzeh b'shus lahalech, Shalzeh b'shus lahalech. Both have rishus. In other words, the ability to have rishus is a heter. It's a heter. We both have rishus to go there, and yours broke with mine, and therefore you pata. However, and we did this earlier. If the Balkaira was going initially, he was going first. And Balchavius Achroin, and the Balchavius walked into the beam. The Nishbra Chavius Bekaroi, Potter. You'd be Potter in that case. Again, he walked into him, right? You Potter, right? Potter Balakaira. The Im Amad Aleph. Im Amid Balakaira. However, if he stopped short, Chayiv, he would be Chayiv. However, Vim Amar Labal Chavius Amud, if he told the Bal Chavius Amud to be pot. Again, this sounds familiar. We just did it the other day. Where you question if he has to go and warn him as well. The machlokes between Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak and who was it? And Rav Yochanan. A similar case. Hayabah Bal Chavius Rishon. If the Bal Chavius was first, the Bal Kara Achrain. And now the Balkaira walks into the Balarisha, Nishbra he hits him in the back, and then he be chayiv. However, Mama Balachavius Potter. The Mama Balkaira Amud chayiv. The same case. The same would apply if this one has his flax and this one has his fire, right? They both have rishus to go, and therefore if it ignites to be Potter, Hashem Kain, if what he stops and walks into him and goes on fire, then it'll be chayiv. Okay. It's a very interesting shaila. Now, we're introducing this because of they both have rishus. In other words, we said this one has rishus to be in rishus harabim. This one has rishus harabim. And we're saying that what? You would be potter if one damages the other. So that is a lenid. If someone goes ahead and he's masik his wife, b'shas tashmish, mahu. Keeping the rishus ka'avid potter, since he's doing rishus, he's potter. Idilma iboy le'iyune, or maybe what he should be more careful. Now, the pashit, you would think that he's potter because he's being oisik b'rishus, but there's a tzad iboy le'iyune, which l'chayra you could say that he's not careful enough. So I discussed this with my brother-in-law, and I found a Rashi on the Amid Beis. If you look at Rashi on the Amid Beis, guys, Rashi says Korv Lemezid. See what the Gemara says. Gemara, one line below that, guys. It says Gemara, parallel to Gemara, one line below that. It says Korv Lemezid. The iboyi le'iyune, because he should have been more careful. In other words, the idea of you should be more careful is one of karev lemezid. So meaning you're close to being guilty. I'm not sure this is the hezbollah, guys, but bear with me, and maybe you'll like it. We saw Gemara petza tachas patza, right? That a person is chayiv. Right? Adam mud oilam, bein be'er, bein be'yoshin, bein be'oinis, right? Bein be'oinis, bein be'mezid. In other words, an honest wad is chayiv. It's an honest chayiv. Yeah, we saw there are situations where you are pata. So, for example, you're walking in Rishus Harabim. It's nighttime. You trip over a barrel and you break the barrel. You pata. Adam mud oilam. So, what did Tosfos say? There's a concept of honest gomer. In other words, not a carte blanche statement that every single honest wad is biwad. Every single honest wad is pot. Okay? So here you have a case where a person is mishamish mitasai, And there's a tzad to say he's pater because he's Isaac Bereshus. There's another tzad to say just because you're Isaac Bereshus, right? Nonetheless, you got to be careful, because if you're not careful, it's carved mazid, meaning it's putting the honest more to the not honest gomor, but more to the honest side to be mechayiv you. Certainly, you're not mazid, but carved lemazid would mean that you are. That's an honest that you would what you will be chayiv upon. That it's an honest that you will be chayiv upon. Again, if this topic interests you, there's a Taisa Shmuel Omar and Chav Zayin Amid Beis that will go ahead and elaborate upon this. But I think that gives me a parameter of understanding why you be chayiv over here. In other words, a person has to. There's a realm of where you can't tie the I'm an honest, right? Why? Because he boiled unit. You should have been careful. Okay. Says the Gemara. So those are two tzadim. One, you're being Isaac Rishus, or you boiled unit. Amalei. So Rav Huna told Rabbi Nasin. So what did he say to him? Tinisua, shall Zer Rishus Lahalech, Zer Rishus Lahalech. Says Rav Huna to Rabbi Bar Nasin, they both had Rishus. If one damages the, right, if the Balkoira damages the Chavius, you pater. So over here, we're going to say the same thing. If the man damages his wife, he'll be pater. Amar Rava, Kal V'chomer. Have a Kal V'chomer. Uma Ya'ar. Now, we learn out, fellas, we know that a person goes to Golus if he kills B'shogeg. And we learned out that in Baba Chavet, you come along a person biyar, and it says it slips either the hammer slips off or the wood flies out and kills somebody. That's the case where you go to Golus. Umayar shezel v'shusay nichnas, v'zel v'shusay nichnas. They both have rishus to be there. Naseh will view it k'misha nichnas the rishus chaveiroi v'chayev. In other words, you both have rishus to be there, but nonetheless, if you kill somebody, you chayev Golus. You have rishus to be there. So you see that just because you have rishus to be there doesn't let you off the hook. You have to go to Golus. You're both allowed in the forest. Yet the thing shut out, you have to go. So don't tell me because you both have rishus that it's a waiver. So anything that happens is okay. That's not pshat. Zeh shel rishus chaverei nichnis, like kol shekain. Over here, where the wife gave him rishus, like kol shekain, what you should be chayiv. You should be chayiv. So Rava disagrees with Rav Huna. Rava disagrees with Rav Huna and says, if anything, you should be chayiv. Ella hadik tani shel zevishus lahalik. Over there. So why you pata, guys? If you're going to learn out from Golus, where you both had rishus, nonetheless you chayiv. So our Mishnah also. You had rishus with your beam. You had rishus with your barrel. Be chayiv. No. Pasam travayu ki adadi ninu. Over there, they're both equal. Over there, they're both equal. Says Rashi, top Rashi, Shneim Shavim b'shvi rasan. Sha'af bal chav yisayeh b'shvi rasan. He helped it. He walked into it, guys. He walked into it, right? He helped him. So good, they both had to just to be there. But by Golus, the guy who killed him did the whole action. By Golus, the guy there did the whole action. So too over here by Rishus Harabim, it's not the guy that do the Chavius. The Balkari didn't do the whole action. The one when it okay. Now what are you going to tell me? So what about Tashmish? Say Tashmish. Then what? They're both equal, right? And therefore you should be pata. You should have the analogy. It should be pata. Hacha ihu kavid maisa v'hiloi. No, put a period after that. Hacha ihu kavid maisa. Here he did the maisa. So in other words, the act of Tashmish, fellas, is comparable to what? Is comparable to Golus, where you both had rishus, but he's doing the Maisa. But he's doing the Maisa. Good. So what's pshat? We know that from the Tosfos and Shas that everyone seems to know. Right? The Tosfos and Shas. Fred the Gemara, how in the world was Esther able to live with Achashverosh? Achashverosh was what? She was an Eshes Ish. She was married to Mordechai. What's the answer? Esther Karka Olam. She was passive. She doesn't do an action. So therefore, in the act of Bia, of Tashmish, she's passive. So he did the Maisa. So he's similar to what Golus, where the guy Hakin the Holtz did the Maisa, and he's Chayiv. So who adin over here says Rava, the man will be Chayiv. Question the Gemara, 1 second. He loy, she's not guilty of doing a Maisa? Fakasiv v'nichvasu anafashos ha'oisos v'kerev amam. This is speaking about an Eishes Ish. They both get karis. All right. V'nichvasu anafashos ha'oisos v'kerev. You obliterate them. So what's the word ha'oisos mean, guys? Ha'oisos is mashma what? They both did it, right? Oisos, they both did it. Says Gemara, Hanolit Shirayu Islahu. Iu Maisahu Dekavid. Right? She both had Hana, but he's the one who did the Maisa. They both had Hana, but he did the Maisa. Okay. Now, okay, so why do you pay? Why does he pay? So there's a machloikis over here. There's a machloikis, he's Karv Lamezid, and therefore he pays Nezek, or there's also he has to pay Tsaripa and Sheves and Baishas as well. You have to pay if he damages it, you have to pay like a person Ish Kite Mumba Misai, right? A person goes ahead and is Chayvel B'Chaveroi, this would be in the Chayvel Chaveroi. This would be in the Chaveroi. So this concept of Hana is a very interesting thing, right? This concept of Hana is if Hana Shafs Maisa, so what's the difference then between what? What's the difference between being Chayiv Golus and what's the difference between that you're telling me that she's not part of it because she didn't do a Maisa and he's Chayiv to let him off the hook, right? If they both did a Maisa, he'd be off the hook. Similar to two people in Rishus Rabim who both do the Maisa. But over here, L'inyan the Maisa to go ahead and say that he's part of that, we don't say. L'inyan that they're both Chayiv Misa or Chorus, whatever it might be, depending upon the level of Einish, right? Then we say it's a Maisa. It's a Maisa of Hana. So it's interesting that Hana can create a Maisa, it's more of a spiritual. Because I'm over the Debar Hashem. The Torah tells me what? The Torah tells me that there's a Pasha Varoyas. And as they say in the vernacular, it takes two to tango. Right? It takes two to tango. So what are you going to tie now? I did nothing. It can't be. The Torah, a woman is mitzvah in every leisase in the Torah. She's mitzvah in every single leisase. So it doesn't make so good le'inyan a physical maisa. There isn't a physical maisa. There isn't a physical maisa. Be aware the Pipula Charifta does say if the woman is active in the act of bia, she would be chayiv too. He'd be off the hook then. Guys, you hear? If a woman would be active in the act of bia, not karka olam, then it would be the same as zeba b'chavisay v'zeba b'charasi b'rishus, and they're both acting, and then you would be what? He'd be pata. Pipul Charifta is pierced in the back on the rush. He says you'll be pata, which makes sense. If the whole heter is that what? He does a Maisa and she doesn't do a Maisa. So what happens if she did do a Maisa? Then it'll be the same as what? Like we said, like we begin this year. They would be guilty. But over here, okay. Now, this is very interesting. If you look at Tosfos, guys, Ihu Ka'avin Maisa, little Tosfos. Notice we always will do little Tosfos. Right? Ihu Ka'avin Maisa, Umiu Le'inyan Chatas Le'inyan Malkus. If there was a shoygeg, they're bringing a chatas, or getting malchus, there was Eidim Nasra, chayeves, the Rachmona achsheveha lahana maisa. She would be chayev because the Torah considers the hana maisa. In other words, we have a rule, guys. Lav shem b'maisa, ain't like it a love. To what extent do you say that what is the maisa? Would it be linear punishment? No. Again, hana creates the maisa. It makes a lot of sense. In other words, there's two things over here. There's hachayvel b'chaveroi. There's a physical act of hana. There's a physical, not hana. There's a physical act of damage. And then there's another parsha. There's a parsha of arayos. For the parsha of arayos, she is mitzvah. She didn't do a maisa. Obviously, she does do a maisa because what's the issa? The issa is being together, which constitutes the act of tashmish of hana. That is what is asa. That's asa. It's asa. And so when it comes to issa, it's asa. When it comes to chavala, you need a physical act, guys. When we're discussing zeba b'karoisa v'zeba b'chavisa. This guy's coming with his beam. This guy's coming with his barrel. There can't be anything more physical than a beam than a barrel. There's nothing to do with God. That's to do with the pasha of Nezikin. In this game moment, there's damage over here. Do I have to pay? I don't have to pay. So the Indian of physical. And bia, the physical aspect of bia, the physical aspect of bia, if she's not involved, it's not a maisa. When it comes to what, when it comes to be mechayiv me for an action, that I will do. Okay, very good shmak. I know mechayiv me. Says the Gemara Vaita. Bal Kaira Rishon, Bal Kaira second, Amrei Shlakish. Okay, this is the third time we're having this thing. We had this Kolam Mishanu Bachav Shinu Boy. You have a parah that's lying down in Rishus Harabim, and you have that's Mishuna. You have a shor going along afterwards. The shor goes along and kicks the other one. Kicking is a tolda of Keren, and we said that you be pata, right? And then there's another action that one no, and if the one that's lying down kicks the other one, you be chayev. So. Amrei Shlakish. They paris b'shus harabim. Achas revutza v'achas malechas. One is lying down and one is going. Ba'ato malechas b'revutza. The one that is going goes ahead and kicks. That's an act of keren, not regel. The one that's crashing down, p'tura. Kol mashana b'achav v'shinu b'pata. Revutza b'mahaleches. However, if the one that's crouching kicks the one that's going, chayeves, because that's only one keren. Lema Messiah. Let's say this is a proof. I can bring you a proof. Reish Lakish says I can bring a proof. Hayabal koira rishon. You have the Bal Koira what is first. Bal Koira Rishon, Ubal Chavis Achrein. The Bal Koira is Rishon, the Bal Chavis is last. Nishbra Chavius B'Koira. If the Chavius goes ahead and hits the Koira, Pata, you be Pata, right? Because you ran into him. Vim Omar Bal Koira Chayev. Aiva Hacha, the Kerevutza B'Mahalechas Dami, right? This is like the Revutza B'Mahalechas, right? And the Ketani Chayev. Let's see Rashi here. Kervutzim alechas, 3 lines down. The Bal Koira Sha'amad Havi Mishuna. The Bal Koira that is standing still. He's like the one that's is lying down. She'ein derech lofish b'shus harabim. We said, guys, you're driving, you don't take a rest in the middle of the road, right? You can pull to the side. So this guy's taking a rest in the middle of the road. So he's what? Like that's the case of he's the Revutza. He's the Revutza, right? And what does it say over here? It says if the Revutza, the one who stands still, the Bal Koira has to pay. So within the Revutza would have to pay. Again, what's the analogy? The two wrongs over here are the Bal Koira who stood still and the cow that lie down. And just like the Bal Koira who stood still pays for the Chavius, the cow that lie down, if it kicks the one that's walking, also pays. That's what you want to say. The Tizbara, Hasaya boy, you think this is a proof? Lay Messiah, the Messiah, now is not Reish Lakish, not only is it not a proof, Elamakshana Mikasha. It's even shver. Taima, the reason why the Revutza pays the Ba'atahu, because it kicked, which is Meshuna. Huska, but if it damaged Memela Pater, in other words, if the other para would just walk over the one that's Revutza, L'chaira, Mashma Yabi Pata. It's the Revutza is only chayiv if it kicked, but not if it walked over it. Good. Masnisan de Memela v'Katani chayiv. Guys, outside. You have a cow that's lying down. It said Reish Lakish's statement: if the cow that's lying down kicks the one that's walking, Yechayev. Mashma, it didn't kick, but it just happened memela that the cow that was walking walked into it. You'd be pata. What's the lying down cow over here? The Bal Koira who stood still. What's the din if the barrel walks in? Yechayev. So your raya just became a kasha. It's the exact opposite. You want to be a raya from this? It's a kasha from this. That's Messiah, Elamakshami Kasha, time of the Bata, who Huskum Mela Pata. I have a Mastis in the Mela when the Chavius walked into the Kaira, Pikatani Chayev, says, no, Mastis on the Pascal Orche, Kishulda. That's difference. But in the Mishnah, it was speaking where it was lying across the whole road. Hacha, Kivin the Rava, Bechad Gisa, Iboil Sguibi, the Gisa. In other words, it's not a kasha. Our Mishnah is speaking where the beam was lying horizontally across the road like a carcass, and therefore it was unavoidable, and therefore Yechayev. Hashenkin over here, the cow was on the side of the road, and there was other place to go. So therefore, you'd be potter if it walks off. Elasef the Masina Messiah. You want a Reish Lakish. The end of the Mishnah is a right to Reish Lakish. What's the end of the Mishnah? The Tani. Bal Chavis Rishon. If the Bal Chavis was first, Bal Koira Achron, Nish B'Chavis B'Koira Chayev. Then Amad Bal Chavis Potter. Right? Over here, what's happening over here? Again, the same thing. You have The Balchavius is Rishon. Now the Balchavius has become the Revutza, guys. Balchavius is right. The Balchaira Achron. Nishbra Chavius Bekaira Chayev. He's Chayev. Vim Amad Balchavius Pata. Oh, that's what we need. Vim Amad Balchavius, you'll be Pata. So right. For Hahacha the Kamalechas Kirvutza Dami. The one that's walking is Kirvut is Revutza. The one who stood still over here is. The one that stood still over here was the Chavius, right? And he walked into him. The Katani Pata is Pata. So you see that you walk over Memeli Pata. So Masis Nechi Orchei Kamaske. Hacha. Oh, in Mishnah it happened normally. Therefore you Pata Hacha Amalei. He could tell him he dis the Rishus the Squiyalai. Good, you have Rishus to go ahead and walk over me. Levaute me last day Rishus. So what? But to go ahead and kick me, you have no Rishus. So Bemis, there's no proof. That right? There's no proof because there's no proof because the Balkari didn't smash his barrel. Right? There's no proof over here because, in other words, you even if what happened over here what happened over here? He walked into him. I know he walked into him, but the Mishnah that said that the Balkari he goes Kiurche and there's no Shino, therefore he's Pata. But if the one that's lying down, which is going normal, would kick the one that's lying, the one that's walking, kick the one that was lying down. He changed, and therefore he's chayiv. Okay, so what's the raya over here? Why is it not a raya? One more time. Let me see.
You think you do that second action and kick him.
So the para that kicked the other one. Balchavius was Mishana, right? The Balchavius was Mishana, the Balkara tripped over him. And also over here, the Malachas tripped the Katani Pata, your Patas. That was the Raya. Then he said, no, there's no Raya. The Masnisan, the Balkara is Pata because he was walking normally. He's walking normally, and therefore if he stepped on him. But Hacha, the Balapara can go ahead. The Balapara can go ahead and tell the one that's lying down, good, you had Rishus to walk over me, but you never Rishus to kick me, right? Therefore, it's not a right to the case. Over here, you had a right to walk. On the other case over here, you didn't have a right to kick. So you have no right. Two different cases. Says the Mishnah. Shnaim shoyim alchem b'Rishus Harabim. You had two people in Rishus Harabim. Echad rotz, one person's running. Ve'echad mahalach, one person's walking. Shneim rotzim, they're both running. Ve'ziku zeh or v'husku zeh shneim peturim, they're both pata. So l'chari, they both have Rishus. Guys, remember what's the rule of thumb? First Mishnah, what we just said, as long as you have Rishus to go ahead and do it, you're okay. Good. So it's mashma over here that you have Rishus to run Rishus Harabim. Or else, why would the Mahalach, why would the one that's running be Chayev, would be Potter if he hits the one that's walking normally? He must have Rishus to run. Masisin like Isi ben Yehuda, Amish is not like Isi ben Yehuda. Tanya, Isi ben Yehuda Omer, Rotz Chayev, Mifnei Shum Mishuna. The Rotz is Chayev because, as we said, it's not normal to run. Erev Shabbos, you'd have to get home and keep Shabbos. Then what you would be pata. So therefore, our Mishnah is not like Rabbi. Our Mishnah says you could run, and Isi says you can't run. Rabbi Yochanan Allah like Isi ben Yehuda. Allah is like Isi ben Yehuda. So meaning you can't run. You can only run Erev Shabbos. Rabbi Yochanan Hachi, Rabbi Yochanan Halacha Kistam Mishnah. Halacha is always like an anonymous Mishnah. And the little Mishnah we just did, fellas, if you notice, there's no name in it. It's anonymous. And therefore, our Mishnah seems to say that that you could run. So how could he pass like Isi that you can't run? The Tanan, Echad Ratz Vechem Halacha Yishoy Yishneim Ratzim Peturim, says the Gemara Mastisn Erev Shabbos, Benish Moshes. You know what? Our Mishnah is speaking Erev Shabbos. When it says this person's running, this person's walking, it's speaking what? An Erev Shabbos. Memai, Midiktani Oyahoy Yishneim Ratzim Peturim. Why do you have to tell me the last case if they're both running? Asulamali, Hashta, Echad Ratz Vechem Halach Pater. If one is running and one is walking is Pater, in other words, one is doing something wrong, the other one's not doing anything wrong is Pater. Shneim Ratzim, they're both doing something wrong, what? And then that should, right, they should be Pater. If they're both equal, Ella must be the what? It's Ben Hashmashos, and that's what's coming to teach me that it's Erev Shabbos Ben Hashmashos. Elachi Kamar, Echad Ratz Vechem Halach Pater, B'medem Mamurim Be'erev Shabbos Ben Hashmashos. Avo b'choil echad ratz v'echem halach chayiv. Okay, but b'choil everyone be chayiv. Shneim ratzim afilu b'chol p'turim. Okay, so that's pshat, guys. If it's Erev Shabbos, everyone can run. If it's during the chayil, 2 people will be pata, but 1 person would be chayiv. Amamar, going back over the brisa, umoide isi be'erev Shabbos ben hashmashis shu pata. They shu ratz b'rishus be'erev Shabbos. My b'rishus. What? You can't do malacha anyway erev Shabbos, right? If the certain time. So where's the mitzvah? Where's the rishus over here? Let us go and greet the Shabbos, the Kala Malkasa. Go ahead, right, and greet the Shabbos Kala Malkasa. So he has the word Kala. Rabbi Yanai Misatef, Rabbi Yanai would go ahead and he would wrap himself up. Let the Kala come. So I thought it's nice, a beautiful marsha here. I thought to do it inside. I sent it out. I sent out this marsha. You have it on your phones. Those people who are on Zoom will have it in a second. We all open have it? Okay, this is Chadushi Agadais, Daf Lamed Beis, and Amesechta Boy V'Neitzi Likras Kala. Korah Shabbos Kala. Why do we call Shabbos Kala? Al Pimasha Kosav. That what does the Medrash say? L'chol yesh ben zug. Every day has a ben zug. Every day has a ben zug, right? Every day has a ben zug. V'li loit nasata ben zug. And Shabbos says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm an odd man out. I don't have a ben zug. I don't have a partner. Amalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Shabbos, Knesset Yisrael yeh ben zug. You know your ben zug is to be Klal Yisrael. But Shabbos Gufa he can assume Yisrael. Shabbos therefore is like married to Yisrael. But Erev Shabbos, he kach nosas kala lechuppah. It's like the kala going into the chuppah. Ukemoy shayidei kedushin be'ach nosasa lechuppah nasas kala nesua. Just like going into the chuppah, that's when the kala becomes the nesua. Kena Shabbos be'ach nasasai be'kiddush hayayim. Shabbos, when you go ahead and you mekadosh the day, nasas k'nesu Yisrael becomes married to Yisrael. The Korah Malchasa, and we call it Malchasa. Shehi Kala, Kalas HaMelech. It's the Kala of the king. The Chol Yisrael B'nei Malachim Hein. All Yisrael are princes. So therefore, Shabbos is the prince, is the wife of Klal Yisrael, and we call it Malchasa. We call it the queen, the Shabbos queen. Why do we call it the Shabbos queen? Because it's married to a prince. L'zel Amar Rab Chanina. The Panya de Mali Shabbata. Erev Shabbos is approaches the Hainu Erev Shabbos. Koidim Knisasa Boy V'Neitze Likras. Right? What does it say? Boy V'Neitze Likras Kala Malchasa. Let's greet the Kala Malchasa. The Derech HaChosin Lotzis Likras HaKala. Right? It's the Derech of the Chosin to go greet the Kala. K'moshe Kosav Hashem b'Sinai Ba. Right? That Hashem came from Sinai. Yotz Likrasam. He came to greet us. K'Chosin HaYotz L'Kabel Pnei HaKala. Kach Pirs Rashi Parshas Vayis HaBracha. There's another midah over here. It doesn't say let's it to groksa. Avadraba that the Shabbos is standing in its place. Amar bo kala. The kala is still standing. We say kala kam. Shakala tavo love that the kala should come to him. Kiderach kala acha kinisas l'chuppah. After it's nichnas l'chuppah. Shetavi mi beis avia, she goes from her daddy's house, the beis baila, to her husband's house. Well, is there kafla inyan boy kala, right? The Ratzalama boy kala l'chuppah v'akach boy kala lebeis baila. So that's now look at the Gemara, guys. Let's see the Gemara. We just said. Right? We go back to our Gemara, and so it says Reb Chanina would say boy v'neitze likras kala malchasa. Let's go get the kala malchasa. It doesn't say anything about Shabbos. You know why? It's Erev Shabbos. So Erev Shabbos now it's like Knisa L'chuppah. So we want to go ahead and make her Nesua, bring her in, right? The Imila Likra Shabbos Kala Malchasa, Likra Shabbos Kala Malchasa, to greet Shabbos. Now, once Shabbos comes, the Kala Malchasa, Rabbi Yanai Misate Fekoi Boy Kala, right? Come now that you are what? You are Nesua, come into my Rishus, right? Because you're going from base Avia to base Baila. So that's the beautiful marsha on this whole Indian. Very, very nice Indian. Okay. enough of the easy stuff. Let's get back to Bava Kama. Okay, I don't want to spoil you too much.
Kaddish is over.
Okay, okay. Penny's listening with Penny's listening.
It's over.
It's 2 lines.
Out comes the orange glove.
Yeah. Okay. Hamivakeya b'shus harabim v'hizik b'shus hayachid. A person's cracking wood in b'shus harabim, and it does damage in b'shus hayachid. Not his b'shus hayachid. B'shus hayachid is somebody else, or he's cracking wood in his own b'shus hayachid v'hizik b'shus harabim, or he's cracking in his own b'shus hayachid v'hizik b'shus hayachid. Acher chayiv. In all these cases, you be chayiv to pay. You be chayiv to pay. Okay. Now, what do you tell me? You told me 3 places: from Rishus Harabim to Rishus Hayachid, somebody else; from your Rishus to Rishus Harabim, or your Rishus to somebody else's Rishus. With 3, you need to tell me all 3 of them. The Tana, if you would just tell me Hamvakeya Rishus Hayachid, Behizik Rishus Harabim, Mishum Neshchichi Rabim, you had to be more careful. You had to be more careful. Good, you have Rishus to crack wood, but again, Havilela Suke Adaite, Iboy Leila Yune. You should have been careful that what there are people who are there. I would say that since there's not a lot of people there, maybe you're not chayiv. The reason you're chayiv is because you act as shloi b'shus. You don't have a right to crack wood in b'shus harabim. The b'shus of it, you have b'shus to crack in your own b'shus. You do have ability to, permission to crack. Either from Rishus Harabim to Rishus Hayachid, or vice versa. What about Rishus Hayachid to Rishus Hayachid? Hamishim Neshchichi Rabim, but Mishim Neshchichi B'shus. Al Rishus Hayachid, Rishus Hayachid, Achid, like Shchichi Rabim. There's no Rabim over there. Umeikar B'shus, and you're acting, since it's your B'shus, you're acting with permission. Maloi. So it's tell me in all cases what you are chayiv. In all cases you are chayiv. Okay. Tanabanim. Hanichlis lechanusa shel naga. You're going into a carpenter shop. Now this guy is not the carpenter that we're this guy is woodworking. He's cracking his own wood. So you walk in there shaloi b'shus. Okay. V'nitza b'kas, and a chip shoots out. The tafchal ponav hits him in his head, in his face. Umeis, and he dies. Right, and it hits him in his face, and he dies. Right. Tosfos says you're not goyrus mace, but in this gersa potter, you'll be potter. Okay, you'll be potter. Okay, let's be goyrus with Tosfos now. Potter from nezek. In nichnas rishus, and if you go in rishus, then chayiv. My chayiv. Why would you be chayiv? Rabbi Yossi Bachnina chayiv b'dalad devarim. See, that's why Tosfos takes that mace, fellas. If a person's dead, it's a shaila whether you got a golus or not, right? When it says dalad devarim, it must be still alive because you have to give him. What are you giving him? Nezek tzar ripin sheves. You're not giving him boishes. Boishes is only b'kavana. But you hear why Tosfos took out mace. Because again, once you chayiv dalad devarim, guys, you hear it's not an inyan of mace. Mace is a din of golus or not. How upatami golus? You be pat from golus. That's why. See, this is patami golus. It must be is dead. Yes, it's shverlich. Okay. Anyway, so I guess that's when he's dead, and if he dies, you pat him golus, guys. That's where you have to read it. And in other words, Tosfos is correct. My Tosfos doesn't need my corroboration, but guys, look, it says when. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, so the first lashon, you'll be chayiv in dalad devarim, you'll be pater from galus. If you're saying doimel liyar, the reason why you're pater from galus is this is not similar to the forest. Again, we saw in the Amar Aleph, the forest is the pasuk that the forest is the pasuk that is what is the source for galus. The yar is the source. Where's the whole pasuk? Do I have it over here? Okay, come in the forest to go ahead and hack holes. Okay. Both have right to be there. And over here, this is Rishus. So l'chayra, that's why you pater. So Madach, where they both had was just to go Yechayev Galus, but where only one person that where Amar Rava or Rava Kalvachaymer. Uma is Zelidaita Nichnas, Zelidaita Nichnas, Nasa Commission Nichnas, Das Chaveroi Vigoila. We'll view it as if you went in with your friends Das, you went to Galus. Zeshla Das Chaveroi Nichnas, like Kol Shekain. In other words, fellas, Madach in a place where you both have right to go, and I'm not sure you're there if you're not there. Nonetheless, I go to Galus, where I know for sure you're there. Ain't no didn't I go to Galus? Okay, so now let's give me a parameter over here. If Galus has to be, I didn't know. Again, I don't know. I couldn't have been more careful. In other words, when you learn Masech Namakas, fellas, you'll see there are places when you're high, just because you kill B'shoigeg, not all Mises B'shoigeg are equal, right? If you're going down the ladder and you fall down, right? I think, I don't remember. There's a difference in going up the ladder, going down the ladder. Like if you're going up the ladder, I'm not sure. I don't remember. That's the truth. But one of them you chayiv, the other one you're not. Now, why aren't you chayiv in the other one? Is because you should have been more careful. Meaning, it's close to being amazed. You go shoygeg. In other words, there's honest guys. Let's go 3 levels: honest, shoygeg, and karav lemazed. Mazed, you're getting killed. So honest, everyone says you don't go to. If you go ahead and you're in I don't know, you have a private forest and there's no way in the world anyone's supposed to be there, and you shoot an animal and you kill a person, you're not going to Galus. That's an honest. If it's a public domain where anyone could be there and you shoot and you kill somebody, you're going to Galus. If you know for sure that there are people there at this time, you're not going to go to Galus. That's Karv Lamezid. And that's Pshat over here. Why? When it says Potter Galus, not Potter is a Kula, Potter is a Chumrah. You're not going to get the Kapara of Galus because it's Karv Lamezid. Since you allowed this person into your shop and you know he's there, you had to be careful. And if you kill him with a wood chip, you're going to be Chayev. Chayev meaning Potter from Galus because you're too much, says the Gemara. So, Fred the Gemara, you should go to Galus, right? Madach, where you don't know the person's there and he has just to be there, you go to Galus. Certainly where you gave the person just to be there and you know he's going to be there, you go to Galus. And that is wrong. Amarava, my Potter be Galus, the first white line, Lesagile be Galus. It's not enough Galus, guys. It's not enough Galus. This is Mamish Karv Lemezid. Behind the time of Rabbi Yosef B'Chanina, B'Shem Nahavei Lake, Shoigei Karv Lemezid. It's Shoigei Karv Lemezid. Guys, you got it? It's a very, very, again, it's this dakistic achilik. So, according to this case, Rabbi Yosef B'Chanina said his din on the what? On the din of the Sefer, right? The din of Potter. Potter means it's Potter from Galus. Masav Rava. You're telling me Karv Lemezid, guys. You're telling me Karv Lemezid does not go to Galus. Now we know that a person gets Malchus, they go ahead, he's supposed to get 40 less 1, he gets 39. Now, not everyone's equal. If a person's a weaker in stature, they're going to go ahead and have a doctor look at him, and they're going to make a shuma, how much he could take. So what happens over here? The guy says, you know what? They said he could take 29. I think this guy can do another one, and he gives him number 30. Is that Karv Lemezid, guys? I would think so. I would think that's Karv Lemezid. Umeis, Harizagoyla, Al Yodai. I v'hachas the Shoyi Karv Lemezid. Who? The boy Yasuke Adaite the Mayas Inshe B'Choda V'Tzua. If the doctor said he could take 29, that means he can't take 30. So that you didn't do it on purpose. But, you didn't do it on purpose. The Ketani Harizagoyla. So Kasha on your whole concept. Your whole concept is that Karv Lemezid does not go to Galus. Here we have Karv Lemezid. You're going to Galus. Says Gemara, no, it's a complete shogig over here. Amrav Simi Menadoi the Toy B'Minyana. He made a mistake in the numbers. He was counting and he counted what? He miscounted. He thought it was 38 and it really was 39. So therefore, it's not Karv Lemezid. Says so. Tofikle Rava Bisandole. Rava went ahead and he tapped Rav Simi on his shoe. Amalei atu ho money. He's the one doing the counting. But Tanya Gadol Shabbat Yadim Kaira. The biggest member of the Bezdin would count as they're hitting. He would count. Vasheni Moina, he would call out one, and the Sheni would keep count. Vashlishi Omer Hikau, and the third Dayan would say kill it, hit him. So the Chayre, it's not the Shliach Bezdin, the one who's hitting him is counting. So Al Nafsimi Menadoi, the Toy Dayan Gufa. The guy Dayan made a mistake, he blew it, but it's not Karv Lemezid. This is the whole sugya of Ein Shliach Levaravera, guys. Who blew it over here? The Dayan. Who carried it out? Who's going to Golus? So obviously, Ein Shliach Levaravera, right? He's Chayiv. The one who did the Avera is Chayiv. So there's a. Huh? Why did you? Hang in a second. Put this on hold for a second. The Ketzais HaChayshin in Siman Shin Mem Ches of Cotton Dalid proves some here the Das and Muki Yosef that the din of Ein Shliach Levaravera, I feel even if you don't know the Shliach, that what he did was asa. The person who's hitting him, he didn't know he was doing something asa. He was just listening to what the judge. So yet he's chayiv golus. So you see the extreme of Ein Shliach Levaravera was even if it's not known to the shliach. If I send someone to kill somebody, he knows he's doing an avera. He's killing somebody, right? You're sending him to do an avera. Over here, the shliach is unaware that he's doing an avera. So the shita of the ketzais is that what, that even though he didn't know he was doing an issa, he'd be what, we'd say yesh shliach levaravera. Ein shliach levaravera. Now in the Sivis, who argues, he says the same statement over there, that if the shliach does not know from the issa, then the mishalech is chayiv, then the judge is chayiv. And what's the reason over here? In other words, generally, if Ein Shliach Levaravera, if the shliach did not know he's doing an avera, the mishalech, the one who sends him is chayiv. So over here, the judge should be chayiv. So why is he chayiv over here? Right? Because you never, ever chayiv bezdin golos. You know, it's a din in bezdin. So again, it's a very interesting machlokes between the Ketzais and the Nesivos, the famous bar plukta of the great Gedolei Achronim. Like the Nesivos, like the Ketzais, the following guys. We learned early in the Masechta, in Masechta, we had it throughout. Yesh Shliach, Ein Shliach Levaravera. There's only two places you say Yesh Shliach Levaravera. Three places say Yesh Shliach Levaravera. Right? There's three places. I'm going to give you two. Baruch is going to give you the third one. I'm going to help you out, Baruch. You say it by Daled Vehei, and you say it by Shlichas Yad. And Mila is the other one. Mila, you say Yesh Shliach Levaravera. I say it from the Daled Vehei, right? That's the place you say Yesh Shliach Levaravera. So over here, the shliach that's sending them is the judge, and the person doing it is unaware that he's doing an avera, and therefore you see Yesh Shliach Levaravera, feel the way he doesn't know. That's the Ketzais. The Tosfos holds no, that it's where he does know. And the Siva says, when do we say Yesh Shliach Levaravera? Only when the shliach knows he's doing an avera. Only when the shliach knows he's doing an avera. That's what Tosfos says. The mela over here, really the mishaleach should be chayev, bezdin should be chayev. But since we never said bezdin to Golus, right? We're sending him to Golus. That's the Nesivos over here. Okay. Continues the Gemara. Meisivei. Someone takes a stone and throws it into Rishus Harabim. So what? You took a stone, guys. You took a stone and you threw it into Rishus Harabim. Is that Karv Lemezid? Yeah. I said Goyla. I have a hocha the shoyge Karv Lemezid. Who? The boy lay a suki adaite the Rishus Harabim shchichi inshi. The Ketani Harizeh Goyla. So questioning your whole premise, guys. Right? Questioning your whole premise. So I'm Rav Shmuel Bar Yitzchak, B'Sleiseres Kaisloi. When it says he threw a stone, it doesn't mean he wound up and threw a stone. He was knocking down his wall, and the wall projected in. And he should have been more careful, right? Right? Says the Gemara. So why does he go to Galus? He should have been, guys. In other words, Freg Gemara. Says it's Karv Lemezid, right? Says the Gemara B'Sleise B'Laila. Since he's knocking down by night, it's what? There's not going to be people there. Fred B'layla nami iboyle liyune. Right. B'layla also you should watch out. Says in B'sais is kosh lebiyoyim la'ashba. It's a ashba. In this case, it's a latrine. It's a latrine, and therefore he's knocking down a stone. It goes into the latrine. You can't expect too many people to be there, and therefore he goes to Golis. Says therefore it's not karv l'mezid. Right, 1 second. Hayash be'echidami. If there's common people there, mezid who, right, he's a mezid mean, and therefore of course he doesn't go to Golis. Again, the other extreme. If not, you never have anyone there. Why is he going? Either way, you shouldn't go to Golis. Remember the dogma, right? Only b'shogeg. If it's honest or it's mezid or karv l'mezid, he's not going. So I'm in manushach. So why is he going to Golis? Says the Gemara. No, I'll tell you what it's speaking about. Amra Papa. Here's the case. The people they turn there to go to the bathroom during at night. But it's not a daytime bathroom; it's a nighttime bathroom. And there's sometimes people go there during the day. Sometimes it's not a mesid, and he knocks it down during the day. Because usually people don't use it. It happened that the people use it, right? Okay, so that's the V'yasir Rab Papa Mishmei de Rava, and now Rab Papa he was sitting, right? Rab Papa he was going ahead. I put it back on the question. Rab Papa was sitting, and he said in the name of Rava, Rava Masnila Resha. Rava, he did not learn it on the Seifa, he learned it on the Resha. Now, what's the Resha and what's the Seifa? Let's look back at the case. You walked in, guys, let's go to 2 dots. Tanabanan. Hanichnas the Chanusa shel Nagar, Shaloi Brishus, the Nitza Bikas V'tovcha Alpanav V'meis Potter. The Nichnas the Brishus Chayev. So Rava learned his not Rava. Rava learned the whole Gemara before was going on the Seifa. It was going on the Nichlas B'Rishus Chayev, right? His Chayev Golis. We said, why should he be Chayev Golis, right? If he knew he was going to be there. Okay, now. Rava Masnila Reisha, Hanichlas Chanu Shal Nagar Shlei B'Rishus, V'Nitzla Bikas V'Ftechel Epanav U'Meis Pata. Okay, so now, if he went to the Chanus without Rishus and he got killed, he's Pata. Rav Yossi Bechina, but Bar Chanina is Pata. Chayiv Baba Devarim Pata Migalas. He's Chayiv Dalad Devarim and he's Pata from Galas. We learned that word. He is right. We learned above. Yossi Bechina Chayiv Dalad Devarim Pata Migalas. Okay, so he's learning the same thing. Man the Masila Seifa, the one who learned it on the Seifa of the Mishnah, where he went in with Rishus, Kolshken Aresha, where he went in without Rishus, right? Uman the Masila Aresha, Abla Seifa, Kivin the Rishus, Chayiv Galas. Okay, so according to this, the Resha where you didn't have Rishus there, where you had Rishus to be there, right? Where you had Rishus to be there, then you're going to be Pata from Galas. But where you, that's the same, no? The Rishus is the same. I'm mixing it up. I guess let's hold it over here. I'm gonna do a better job tomorrow. We'll pick it up over here. Pick it over here tomorrow.